I mean, it's a really spectacular trophy. And if this doesn't get you excited to watch, not just the Sounders play against, Botafogo, Atletico, and PSG, but the other games. I mean, River Plate, big team, Inter, Uriah Reds, Monterrey. The whole city is going to be fired up to watch a lot of good soccer. So that gets me excited. Obviously, we have 2 more games to play in league before I really, take my coaching hat off and maybe just be a fan for some of these other games. But it's a super exciting time for the city of Seattle. We're going to welcome all the fans from all over the world. My uncle is coming from Germany just to watch these games. There's going to be a lot of people that visit our city, maybe for the first time, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful tournament, beautiful weather, lots of nice people here in the city, and hopefully some good Sounder games.
With that, we're going to open it up to questions. Giselle Pichardo has the mic, like always. Jeremiah, I saw you first, so I think we'll start with you and maybe keep it in your row after.
So, not to get distracted from the Club World Cup, but we do have 2 big games coming up here in the league. Against top teams in the Western Conference, there's a scenario where you guys could basically be right there for the lead of the Western Conference at the end of this, going into the Club World Cup. How do you go about managing those, and what are the challenges going into these games?
That's a really beautiful trophy. No, I'll answer your question, Jeremiah. I mean, look, yes, we totally understand. We have a opportunity. We have a really good opportunity because we got our last game at home against Minnesota. It's a point ahead of us. And then, obviously Vancouver's playing for something pretty big themselves. And then they're going to have to play through an international window where I know they're going to be missing players. I've seen some of the lists already. So we've got a chance, an opportunity where because we got to still do the business, if we can do the business, that would put us in a really good run of form to start focusing on, maybe winning one of these games. So work to be done, but, again, the guys are ready. I thought they all got a kick out of seeing the trophy here at training, kind of lifted them a little bit in training. So it's exciting times here.
Nico, go ahead.
Thank you. To stick with the Club World Cup, what are the chances that both Yemmer and Kim Ki-hee are ready and available for that Club World Cup?
I wouldn't count him out. Ymer's a tough kid. He's usually one that comes back from injuries pretty good. Kim Ki-hee, the MRI showed a slight strain in his calf. So he wants to play. I mean, they all want to play. So we'll do what we can to get him back up and ready. But if not, we have, Jackson coming back and Jonathan Bell and young Stuart Hawkins.
Jada, over to you.
Thank you. Can you be a little bit more specific with Kim Ki-hee? Does that mean that just this weekend, or what is?
We're trying to get some more. He's gonna get an ultrasound as well because they couldn't find the actual damage as clear as they want on the MRI. So they're gonna do an ultrasound of his calf, and I'll have more information. But that, to me, and what they think is, it is a slight strain. So we don't know how it's going to react. It could be 1 week, could be 2 weeks, could be 3 weeks. So we just don't know.
And then what about Jordan and, his availability and, gearing a player up to possibly play or start maybe in those 3 matches, the Club World Cup matches?
Well, with Jordan, we've got to be careful because that is his, reoccurrence of that same hamstring. So in that, we got to take the long view, although he wants to participate. But we expect in his current timeline to get him ready for Vancouver, not a start in Vancouver, but get some minutes, and we'll see how that goes.
All right, we'll swing over to the back row here, starting with Maz, and then we'll go to Jackson. Middle row.
Brian, let's see if I can articulate this. You talked about in the post press conference about the importance of depth, and then João Paulo and just what he brought, and you said that he came in and did what he needed, and then how that ties into, he's going to be playing his former team. A lot of emotions, a lot of things going on there, but the importance of depth on your team right now.
What is the depth?
The importance of it, yeah.
The importance, it's critical. It's massive. Again, you had an 18-year-old kid going up against a Mexican national team player. We've had instances of, to actually get here, and you're talking about JP and now Obed. I mean, we lost a critical guy that helped us get into a final, and then yet a 16, I think he was 16 at the time, jump into that game to help us win that tournament to get a chance to play here. So the depth of the squad has always been good. This year, I think it's especially deep.
Brian, you mentioned Stuart Hawkins a minute ago. What did you see when he came on the field, just in the moment, and then watching the film back of the San Diego game? What did you see from his performance off the bench?
I think sometimes for young players, if it's just like a snap decision, they don't have time to think about, oh my God, I'm going to get nervous. He just, we said, Stewie, get up. And he warmed up a couple of runs, and he jumped on the field. And that was obviously almost better for him. He couldn't overthink. So I thought he did well. I mean, he lost a ball or two, but, that's going to happen. But he won some duels, and he didn't look like he was out of place.
All right, we'll go to Tim next.
Hey, Brian. That trophy and everything associated with it can sometimes be a distraction for a team, knowing that that's down the road in the future. Obviously, it's getting closer. But how have you seen your guys sort of approach things and seemingly handle things pretty well up to this point, knowing that that's coming up at some point?
Well, you have a core group of players that have been around this franchise, been around me, my voice, for a long time. I think we're all pretty grounded human beings, individuals. I don't, excuse me. Nico was a humble guy. Look, we've had characters, of course, during our time here. Nuhu, we still have a character, a Nuhu. But they're all nice people. They're all good human beings. That makes my job a little easier. They get it. They understand that. They saw this. They got excited today, but they have heard the message that Minnesota is the most important game because it's the next game. I've been saying that for years. And they get it. They understand it. Steph is too good of a captain. Christian, Jordan now being the leaders. João Paulo, you mentioned JP. There's a lot of guys that can, take this, put it in the back, and then when we do step on the field and we're playing in these games, they'll be ready.
All right, Felipe next.
Thank you. Coach Brian, after the game and the post conference, you talk about Jesus Ferreira, that he needed to score that goal. And then after that, he's in the locker room, he says that he was grateful that the coaches give him the confidence to keep on going. So my question to you, how do you see him in these trainings, if he has excelled his training, or if you seen any change in him?
Well, he's always been a good player. He's always trained hard. He had 7 assists all competitions. So he's done good things for us. He defends well, smart, okay, but the goal was obviously weighing on him. You saw him kind of trying to get all the, bad stuff out of his body. He was very happy today. We obviously showed the film in here earlier today of his goal and his celebration. So you have a guy that's, now got a little bit more confidence, and I think that's what you're asking me. He's got a little more confidence, and that's going to help us, and that's going to help him throughout the rest of the year that it's finally happened.
All right, we'll come down to George.
So, Brian, the Sounders played previously a team from Brazil, Santos, and there was a young man that scored 2 goals in that game. What can the current Sounders learn from that young man?
I don't think those guys even know that story. I'll tell them tomorrow. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a very fond memory that I have. And here's the reason why. We were playing in Memorial Stadium, a lot of history, Obviously, Santos is the club that Pelé brought up. There were a lot of local kids playing for FC Seattle at the time. So our local soccer community, we've developed many good players throughout the years. I remember, Donnie Farler, the guy who passed me the ball twice, was the leading assist getter for that early part of the season, and he was a right back. It was a good moment, and I remember there were a lot of fans in the building because Santos was a big team. And so for these games as well, I hope that the fans are going to show up. I mean, it's once in a lifetime chance for us to see a Champions League winner, because Inter's in one group and, PSG. So that in itself, I mean, you should go watch both of those games. You should watch us against PSG, and you should watch Inter against, or River, or Inter against Monterrey. I mean, Monterrey, don't sell them short. That's a very good team. So all the fans should come out, because I remember that day fondly. A lot of fans, sunny day, a little bit of history. It was a good day.
All right. We'll stay on this row. George, if you actually just want to hand it down to Jada, that'd be great. And then I see you, Jess and Maz.
Well, I was just wondering if there are any plans or anything that you can share about any plans with the team to mark this week or mark that week and make it special, like what you're going to do that way.
Yeah, I can share some of those details. So with a FIFA event, it is massive. It's a big deal. And so we will be going to a hotel to have our team meal for the first game. Then we'll be spending the night in the hotel for the night before the next two games. We will be all on a bus. It will be every single member of the team. So we're trying to make it a big deal because it is a big deal. And so we will do all little things, maybe go out to a nice dinner the night before one of the games, just so that the players feel that the club has supported them and, appreciates the work that they've done. Yes, we would love that.
All right, we'll go to Jess. and
That's
then
actually a
Moss.
really good comparison because Morocco was great. It was too short, but we want to do the same thing.
Just wanted to hear your thoughts on what it means to be back in the Club World Cup after falling to Al Ahly in the 2023 competition. Obviously, new opportunity and new format this year.
New format, so we're guaranteed the 3 games. It's a completely different tournament. I think the way FIFA has envisioned this, it's a much grander scale. The champions of each continent, I think that was good, but this is obviously something that FIFA feels is important to crown a true Club World Cup. So the disappointment from Morocco, that experience of dealing with FIFA and the grandeur and some of those things, I think will help some of the guys that are still here. I think it's good to go back down memory lane there and think about that.
And then another question, the Sounders are considered to be a part of the group of death. How can you guys utilize your own strengths and, come out on top?
Well, I mean, yes, we have to be realistic, but that doesn't mean we can't compete. And so the objective there is to be competitive in each match. If we can get a result, great. But we want to be competitive. We want to make the games interesting and, make sure the scoreline isn't, out of reach.
All right, we'll bring the mic down to Maz.
Thanks. Hey, Brian, going back to your captain, Stefan Frei, you talked about his leadership. Just what have you seen in the last few games? I know he's been a stalwart for this club, but back-to-back shutouts. But in that, you've had somebody leave early in the first half on the center back.
Steph's seen it all. He's been in the league a long time. His experience in Toronto, now here. What I would tell you is that if you rewatch, and we get the behind the goal, we get 4 different views of the games. If you watch his save, where the guy's literally 14 yards out, he cuts inside of Alex, the whole goal is there. And he strikes it clean. It's low to the ground. There's not many goalkeepers in this. 95% of the goalkeepers don't make that save. But Stefan Frei does. He gets down, his hand, strong hand, and he keeps us in the game. That's how you win games. Starts with good goalkeeping.
He had that kick save as well, where he was going
Well,
one
the kick
way
save
and then the
is
right.
reactionary. I'm talking about the technical piece that Tommy works on every day, Maz. That shot in the first half, you can study that, and it looks simple, but his footwork, his angles, his ability to push, to get to the ball down there, that's a technical save.
We'll go Jackson, then Felipe.
Brian, thoughts on Minnesota, how Eric has his team playing, what their strengths are that'll give you some problems?
Well, their strengths are hard to beat. Backline of five. He's learned. Young coach, came in the league last year. He's learned. He's figured out his team. He's figured out what his particular group needs to be successful. So credit to him. He's done a great job. And it's a hard team to beat. 3 center backs. I like the 2 young guys on either side. They're good young center backs. I think one's from Colombia, the other one's from somewhere, but they're good. And, dynamic team up front. They can run.
So, Coach Brian, having the Club World Cup touring the city is going to energize the fans, and already you can feel the vibe at work, at school. What would be the message of the Seattle Sounders coach for the rest of the world and the rest of the fans?
Look, we talked earlier about opportunities. Our team has an opportunity to, play a game at home against Minnesota. It'll be tough, but it's an opportunity to pass them in the standing. We have an opportunity to play against Vancouver and get a little closer to them. The fans have an opportunity to come down and watch some of the biggest clubs in the world play against their team. And then, again, River Plate, one of the biggest clubs in Argentina, Inter, Italy, Japan, Mexico. I mean, these are once-in-a-lifetime opportunities for real Sounder fans, soccer fans, just fans that want to see a good game. They can come watch. It's going to be great.
All right, we'll go Nico and Jeremiah.
Thanks, Coach. Obviously, you're playing an European team, and it's on. We just talked about their accolades of the teams you got in this group. Do you change anything about the way you approach games and the way you would set it up because of the level of competition? And the second one, I just wanted to get your take on what it means to you to be able to coach this team in this tournament across a guy like Luis Enrique and Diego Simeone.
Some great coaches. It is an honor to be here involved with this club for many years. But let's get back to our team, because I don't know what we can do to change it. They are who they are. These are the players. I know them well. I know their strengths. I know the areas that they can improve on, and we work on that every day as a coaching staff. Preki, Andy, Freddie, Tommy, we do a good job. So we will prepare the team like normal. Try and give them, the tools to be successful is what I always say. But it will be it'll be a little bit more. There'll be a little more, butterflies in the stomach before kickoff, and that'll turn into adrenaline, and they'll be excited to play. So I'm, again, hoping that we can compete.
Jeremiah?
Yeah, one practical question, one kind of bigger picture question. What is the status of Danny and Jackson going into this game?
Danny Masowski.
Yeah, Danny Masowski.
They're both available to play.
And are they, could you assess their fitness, or are they still not?
They are available to play.
Fair enough. And then I guess the broader question is, have you actually sat down and watched film of PSG, of Atletico, of Botafogo? And
I'm going to watch them tomorrow.
is it a little surreal to be thinking that you're going to be watching, a
It's
potential?
surreal. We went when we were in Spain in preseason. I think I told you guys this story. Me, Freddie, Johnny, and Henry. We took a little side trip to watch Atletico live. We called it a scouting trip. you know. So yeah, I mean, we're excited to watch the game, the final. You know, we will do our normal prep. We'll watch film and we'll, you know, see. But of course, we don't know who they're going to put out there because they're just starting their seasons. It'll be preseason for them. Obviously, the two guys in the Champions League final, you know, they won't have. It'll be short rest, so we don't know what they're going to bring.
All right, we'll take one or two more. Jada, go ahead.
And without going into lineups or anything like that, but JP was definitely thought and excited about Botafogo being here, and Obed is a big fan of Atletico. So
Yeah.
when you have, and I'm not sure about the rest of the team, but when you have players who do have ties or interests or anything like that, do you feel that you'll make an effort to, you know, get some minutes to everyone to play against maybe who they, you know, want?
Well, I can't guarantee minutes for everybody, but yes, Jada, it's a good question. Yes, there will be some consideration given to JP versus Botafogo and Obed versus Atletico. I mean, Obed's been starting pretty much every game. But yeah, those decisions come into play. I mean, look, against Dallas the other day, I mean, Jesus was the logical guy because it was a former team. I mean, we do that sometimes as coaches.
All right, we'll go down to George, and unless I missed anybody, that might be the last one.
So, Coach, specifically to PSG, it seems like their fullbacks come in and score a lot of goals. How do you prepare for that, and how can you try to take advantage of the space that they leave behind?
Well, again, we'll start debating, talking about watching film of PSG once we get a little closer to these matches. We have to stick to Minnesota and you know, and Vancouver first. But again, we'll watch the game, and you know, they're a great team. They have so many good players. I mean, it's not just about stopping this guy or this guy. It's stopping this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy because they have so many talented players.